Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video that maybe 5 of you will be interested in. I'm going to talk through some of my must-haves for pregnancy, but some of them will go into birth and postpartum as well. I have a list on my phone. Oh, you're kidding me. The battery's dying. I swear I charged this battery. Yeah, new battery. The problem with this camera is it won't, oops, she just farted. It won't tell me if the battery's dead for like a few minutes. So I start filming and then it's like, actually. Oh. The Positive Birth book / audiobook, I listened to it as an audiobook, but a friend did buy it for me as a book as well. I love this book. My favourite thing about it is during different sections, it will have different experiences from different people.
Unquestionably, the most amazing experience of my life. It wasn't painless, nor technically orgasmic, but it was ecstatic. The contractions hurt, but I wasn't suffering or unable to cope. Birthing uninterrupted, feeling safe and supported, allowing my hormones to work exactly as they were supposed to. I entered a primal place, where the pain was not bigger than me. I felt like I discovered the secret of the universe, and I could do it again and again.
And the Positive Birth Company's online hypnobirthing course and the postpartum course. I love the hypnobirthing course. I would recommend doing the entire course with your birth partner. So if that's, your husband, like Alex was my birth partner, we watched the entire course together. It was really, really useful. I think some people, meaning completely well, will try and tell you to steer clear from having a birth plan and from being too specific about the birth plan, because everything can go completely differently to how you want it to. But I think that's part of the reason why you need a birth plan. I'm grateful that these interventions exist and that all these different options exist, but it would be foolish, I think, if you just look at the numbers and things and talk to women to think that there aren't people who get pushed through an experience they didn't need. Does that make sense? So I think it is a good idea to have a birth plan and be really informed and know what you would like. Birth preferences is maybe a better way to look at it. But I also think, and this is a good thing about the course and that book, educate yourself on everything. If the last thing you can think of happening is a cesarean, I'd say it's even more reason to focus on that and learn about it. Guided affirmation relaxation. So as a part of that course, you get, wait, do you get? Yeah, you do. You get hypnobirthing tracks. Of course you do, yeah, but as a part of that course. I love those hypnobirthing tracks, but I mostly actually listen to hypnobirthing tracks from, I think her name's Bridget Taylor, I might be remembering that wrong.
Coming into the presence of this moment, here and now, just you and your baby, present with one another.
Built to Birth, I think was her channel name. I'll link down below to her playlist. This track in particular is the one that I listened to on repeat while I was in labour. I find her voice really relaxing. I love the words that she chose, and I would listen to them leading up to birth as well. Quite a lot of the way through pregnancy, really. I was listening to them when I was in the bath. I'd sort of sit and try to meditate and envision birth and envision holding my baby in my arms. It's honestly, none of the preparation truly prepared me, but I would have been way more flailing about. I would have been way more flaily if I hadn't done any of that. But still, I don't know that anything can prepare you other than just being open to the amazing, powerful unknown that birth is. The Business of Being Born documentary. So I put this on my list and then I started thinking, I don't know. I do think you should watch it. There's actually another documentary coming out soon that looks quite interesting and that I'm interested in watching. It's kind of about medicalisation, over-medicalisation of birth, and us drifting further away from our instincts and belief that we can do it without being taught.
Yes?
What do I do?
Nothing, dear. You're not qualified.
Putting all our faith in that someone else knows better than us. And I do think there is a massive problem in that whole area. All right, baby. But then on the other end of it, I'm so grateful that all these things exist, that there are so many resources out there, and that all these different options exist, and that there are amazing medical staff that know what they're doing and save babies' lives every day. And I loved the documentary, but there was a little part of it that I remember. I can't remember what it was, but I felt some kind of like shame if I had a medicalised birth. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember it clearly, so this is pointless talking about it really. But just to say, it's an interesting documentary, but I do worry sometimes you could end up feeling a bit like, oh, you didn't believe in yourself. You were over-medicalised. Do you know what I mean? Well, maybe that's exactly what you needed or wanted. So I do think, like, proportionally though, there is a problem with women being traumatised.
What's that for?
That's the machine that goes bing!
I hope you know what I mean. I will link all this stuff down below and you can make your own mind up. I don't want anyone to feel bad about their choices or their outcomes. But the fact is, a lot of people do. They don't just feel bad, they feel traumatised. And I think it's been a long time since I watched this documentary now. I put it on the list ages ago. But I think that the documentary was good. A yoga/birth ball. So if you're giving birth in a maternity-led unit or in a hospital, they will have a birth ball, a yoga ball probably for you, or you can ask for one. But during pregnancy, I found it really useful as well. We had a really uncomfortable sofa at the time, and just being pregnant, heavily pregnant, was quite uncomfortable, and then being 2 weeks overdue was very uncomfortable. And just sitting up on the birth ball and kind of swaying around was so lovely. I would sit on it and play Animal Crossing, and it's useful for getting baby in a good position. There were moves that I was doing to make sure she was turned around the right way and everything, and exercises I was doing to help my back and my hips and things. And when I was really trying lots of things to get labour going, I was on the birth ball a lot. Do you have some booby? Alright. I would lean over the birth ball and Alex would give me back massages as well, which was lovely. I chose this specific massage oil scent, and I had, for the home birth, was like fairy lights set up, and this little, it was almost like a, this word, I ain't got time to think of it right now. It was almost like one of them that I had set up in the house, and we would put the lights on and put the hypnobirthing tracks on, and Alex would give me some massages with that scent, just so I sort of, my brain had experienced that relaxation setting before. I was kind of trying to train my brain, I guess. Not that any of that mattered in the end. Didn't really use that because I was in hospital on my own for a lot of it. But the night before the induction we did to try and get things going, and we watched Tropic Thunder. Didn't work. I got this brand of reusable nursing pads and I really like them. As much preparation as I'd done, I think a lot of things don't really sink in until you're experiencing them, and then you go, oh right, okay, and then it, you know, is in your brain properly. There's so much information that you could try and take in. A simple thing like nursing pads was one of them for me. I knew of them, I think I already had some, but I didn't bother taking any to hospital with me, and I didn't fully know when I'd be using them. Whereas as soon as my milk came in, I was like, oh okay, right, I get it. I was feeding her, and then I started to feel all soggy on the other side of me, and I thought, ew, what's this? That only just stopped recently. My boobs were so leaky, weren't they? Yeah, they were leaky. Nipple balm and Nipple Sheilds. So I do have this actually. Nipple balm from Nessa Organics, and I've also got their Vagina Victory oil, which I did use. I did some perineal massage. When I first did perineal massages, I was like, oh my god, this is horrible. It hurt. I didn't know how I was going to be able to do it. But I just did it a tiny bit and then built up each time, and I did manage to do it. Though being pregnant, it's very uncomfortable to even reach your fanny, let alone massage it. That nipple balm is really good. A lot of the ones that, like the ones they gave me in hospital are, is it lanolin, is that how you pronounce it? Which I think is derived, I know it's not vegan, is it from wool? I can't remember. I just used it in hospital because I didn't have anything else, so I wasn't going to be a fussy vegan about it. My nips needed something. You don't need to rinse it off before feeding baby, although personally I just would give my boob a quick wipe. And start using the nipple balm before you think you need it. So after each feed, though in the early days it's hard to even separate out between each feed because my life was just feeding. But when you can, in between feeds and naps, put some nipple balm on. And Nipple Sheilds they gave me in the hospital. The hardest time during breastfeeding for us was the first week. And I remember in the early days as well, I would get a head rush every time I fed. And it was sort of, not painful exactly, but it was just a bit like shocking every time. Whereas now, you know, don't notice it at all. I feel nothing. Not that my boobs are completely numb. I can still sense letdowns, but it's nothing like the early days. So if you're struggling in the early days, just know this is not necessarily how it's going to be forever. And yeah, the hospital gave me some Nipple Sheilds because I just needed a bit of a break. And they were very useful. I found them a bit clunky and awkward to use and I wasn't too confident with them, but they definitely helped. I might not have even thought of trying them if I weren't in hospital and they gave me some. They weren't on my list of things to get. Letters to My Baby is a book that my friend Shona sent me, and they do all different kinds. There's like letters to my daughter, letters to my son, letters to my granddaughter. It's such a sweet idea. You write letters and it gives you prompts to sort of write about different things. And then it's got little stickers at the back to seal it, and you can say like open on this date. I just think that's such a cute, lovely little idea. Peri Bottle. I also bought that up. Where's that? Oh, jeez. I also sorted that out to show you. Insert a clip. Don't know where I put it. Peri Bottle, useful for squeezing nice cooling water onto your fanny during those first wheeze and poos after birth. I was very scared to go to the toilet after birth, but I didn't have my Peri Bottle with me in hospital. I had a cup, so I just filled up a cup and tried chucking it up my fanny while I was going for a wee. Would have been a lot easier with a Peri Bottle. I only would have used it maybe for a week or two personally, but it makes all the difference in those first few days. A nursing pillow if you're planning on breastfeeding. Really, really handy. I remember specifically there was just a point at which she was just too big for it, and then suddenly we just stopped using it and that was it. But it was, I don't know, it was strange. It seemed to just come one day instantly. It was just like, she's too big, done. But for the first few months, I used our nursing pillow all the time because she would sleep on me. It made a lovely little bed for her, and then I could sort of roll her and she'd sort of lay back and be all snuggly in her nursing pillow on my lap, and then I could sort of leave her on it and my hands would be free and she's asleep on the ring around me. A water bottle with a straw, so really handy for during labour and afterwards with baby, because you don't always want to have spillable things lying about. You want something you can maybe just bung next to you on the sofa as opposed to keep reaching over and getting something off the table. I got some cheap ones and they were really crap, so if you can justify it to yourself, it might actually be worth investing in like a fancy one. I wish I had, because my ones are crap. This again is more of a after birth purchase. This is a night light. I'll link to it down below. It's so cool. We love it, don't we? So tap it twice and it turns on and it will go, you hold your hand down on it to make it brighter, let go, hold your hand down on it to make it dimmer. If you put your finger over this little bit here, the little blue light, you can change it from cool tone to warm tone. I don't know if you can see that properly. Lumos. Nox. This is super handy for breastfeeding of a night time and all things that happen of a night time. We actually leave this on all night, every night, on the lowest setting, so that I can just look at her during the night and check her and check she's okay. It's a tiny bit too light even on the dimmest setting for us when we're going off to sleep, so I put a little sheer cardigan thing over the top of it. I wish I had taken this to the hospital with me. The only light that I had that wasn't the main bright lights in our area was this massive like strip light across the top of the bed, and I remember making like a pile of pillows to try and dim it so that I could feed her over night time and it wasn't really bright. This would have been a lifesaver. Pregnancy body pillow is very useful for a lot of people, and I I was given a full body pillow by my mother-in-law who had one for her back. I found that I didn't use it because I found it more sort of frustrating to get up out of bed the million times of the night that I needed to go for a wee. Getting out of this like pillow area I found quite annoying, so I ended up just using just a regular pillow or folding up a blanket and putting that under the bump, so it was just sort of tiny bit supported. The body pillow that is like a big round U-shaped one, we use it more now that she's sitting up because it creates like a little safe pillow fort for her to sit and play in. Yeah, but I still have to supervise her because she will just face plant into the pillow. My camera just collapsed off my tripod and baby's upset, so I'm gonna end it here. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. A massive thank you to all of my patrons over on Patreon. A big thank you to Gemma McDonald, Willowy Wings and Jessica Baldock, Hannah Robinson and Danielle Weatherall, Lauren Erica, Emma Outland and Brandy Wine. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate all your support. I'm going to be honest, it's just been like a rough time lately. So when I do sometimes sit down and think I'm going to talk to you, I kind of don't know what to say because my brain is just like, and it's not baby, like baby exacerbates my brain being all scattered, but there's been just a lot going on in life. I'm sure it's been that way for everyone. I'm not uniquely struggling, it's just a weird, crappy time. I'm getting a bit more free time now. I'm clearing out the cobwebs in my brain. I'm trying to chill out a bit, unload some of my anxiety, and I don't know, hopefully I will be more creative again. I just feel like I've been in a funk for a while, but a big part of the hurdle has been accepting that I'm in the funk before I can really get out of it, and then not like beating myself up and blaming myself and thinking I just need to quit, I'm never going to be creative again. So I don't know. Anyway, I will speak to you soon.